Hello, salam, shalom, namaste, satrikal, aloha, hola, ciao, and bonjour. It's really awesome to be with you again. And we have a very special guest with us today, Ed Rich, who is an author coach and the author of the 48-hour book method. Ooh, I'm so curious to learn more about that from you, Ed. So please jump in and tell us more about who you are and what you do and what your book is all about.
Hey, Samia, thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. As you introduced, I am the co-author of, I'm not the author, I'm the co-author, which is one of the two authors, with one of my mentors, a person I admire a lot, who was once my employer. Um, and actually the person who changed my perspective from marketing at the time when I was serving as the head of marketing for this person into product or customer centric product creation. And this is what we will talk about a lot today, but just a brief overview of that. So 48-hour book method is an easy way to go from experience to expert in 48 hours and grow your business with a book, promote your expertise with a book, or do whatever you want as a benefit of having authored a book. And the trick here is that it starts way before you finish publishing, way before you publish your book. We'll
Very,
talk all about it.
yes, you have to tell me more. So you just said something about how you can go from uh, uh, like go to become an expert in 48 hours. Tell me more about that part first.
Right. Okay. So just to make it clear that I'm not talking about people who have no experience and coming out of nowhere, have nothing to say to the world, and then they come and pretend as expert. There are plenty of them. This is not for them. This is for people who have some experience somewhere in their life. They have a mission or they want to do something like really intensely. They want to do it, but there's certain level of imposter syndrome or some other feeling that hold them back from saying like, hey, who am I mean, there are people better, other people better than me, or they actually genuinely see a lot of competition going around. Even though they feel they are expert, they know, like they know better than others, but they're not able to express it because the audience or their customers or their potential clients don't have a benchmark or a way to differentiate apples from trees.
Yeah,
And they perceive you as just one of the many.
right.
I remember once I was having a talk with one of my clients, and he told me that he was scrolling on LinkedIn, and somebody posted a post, a request that I need help with this kind of solving this kind of problem. This person is clearly more than capable of solving that problem, but he's not able to say it in a way as other people were saying as well. Like it, no matter what he thought that he's going to say, he sounded like me too, me too. That means just one of many,
Yeah,
even though he is, in my opinion, clearly more qualified than the other people that I have come across, at least
right.
in that context. So these
Yeah,
are the kind of problems when people are either not perceived as expert, or they don't stand up for their expertise in a way that like, hey, I'm the Neo. I don't know if you've seen
yeah,
Matrix, but
yeah,
I am the one. I am the expert. I'm the one who will bring about the change in your life. And
yeah.
since we are talking about change makers, people who are listening, you and me today are change maker, transformers, people who bring about change in other people's life, take their life from one state of being to a better state of being.
Yes.
And a book is the best way to do it for many reasons, and we can dive into those.
Yeah,
But I would like to highlight one very small fact. Why?
yeah.
Um, Let me ask you a question. If you want to stand, or you want to become a president of United States of America, what is the single qualification that you would need to qualify, like to get elected as president?
Like legally, being a citizen of the United States,
Well,
being
legally, you just
born,
have to have clean slate,
right?
but even
Right.
those people
Yeah.
don't have those.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Qualification wise, which college, university, degree, certification, previous experience? I mean, I
Yeah.
have seen, at least in my time observing politics going on, I have seen war heroes. I have seen amazing change makers
Yeah.
coming and standing to become the president of
Yeah.
the United States, and they did not win. And
Yeah.
they lose to
Yeah.
somebody who has written books about something. It could be as simple thing as, hey, audacity of hope, or finding. I forgot Barack Obama's book's name. Something about fathers.
Yeah.
Or if you look at Biden's book, he wrote a book about his relationship with his child. Like, on what corner that qualify you as an expert? But if you look at all the presidents who have won, at least in my living memory, I can think of, have authored a book.
Yeah.
And if you are competing for presidency of America, or even in Europe, in the UK at least, in the UK and many English-speaking countries, um, almost all prime ministers, presidents are, authors. So it doesn't matter what you write about. So that's true, but also knowing that we are in the business of change making.
Mm.
So change makers don't write books about memoir or something else, because the way we author books, our books also serve our customers in
Mm.
progressing the mission that we bring about, in making the movement move forward, right? So that was just an overview of how a book establish your authority. The second factor in this is barrier to entry. A
Mm.
book is not only actually high barrier to entry, but also perceived high barrier to entry. And with
Mm.
the advent of technology, this high barrier of entry no longer exists, but it still exists in the mind of people. So compared to more than 500 million tweets or millions of blogs which are posted today alone, there are only 2 million books published in the US and throughout, like,
Mm.
throughout this whole year.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 million, right? So there's a high barrier to entry. If you have crossed this high barrier to entry, you're good. You're better than the best, I should say. So that's the book factor. The book helped you,
Mm.
but also it acts as a cheerleader for you.
Mm.
It shout out and tell, hey, this person can help your problem in this way.
Yeah.
Any other form of marketing, video, audio, blogs, electronic, any kind of things, they disappear over time. Books last forever. Books are like diamonds. Diamonds are forever, so are books. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they are the best medium to convey your expertise.
Mm. Yes, it makes me think about myself actually. I'm the author of a book too, and actually my book is Make Change Fun and Easy, the same title as the show that we're doing right now. And uh,
And this is really beautiful, because I love the fact that you are building your brand, your surrounding, your mission, your movement around a single idea,
yeah,
right? Make change fun and easy.
yeah,
And the conversation is just an example of it. It's an
yeah,
extension of the idea that you introduced in your book.
Yes.
And this is something which is a lot of book authors missed out on. They don't connect the dots.
Mm,
Their whole marketing, whole promotion, and not only marketing and promotion, fun part of work, like what we are doing today, also could be aligned with the common theme that your book could bring
yes.
focus about, right?
Yes. My book, being an author, has helped immensely with my branding, with my being able to go bigger in terms of the impact that I'm able to make. And I'll just give a very quick example. So this was pretty soon. Actually, I hadn't even officially published my book yet, but I had started talking to people about, oh, I'm the author of the upcoming book, Make Change Fun and Easy. And I was selling sharing this information with the executive director of a nonprofit that I have been volunteering at for many, many years. And when she heard that I had this book coming out, she was like, "Ooh, we would love to have you come to our and do a training for our staff and tell them more about what you're teaching in this book." And I'd been volunteering at this organization for like years, literally years, and I'd never been invited to come and do a training for their organization, for their staff before. But when I had even just mentioned that I had this book coming out, then she was like, "Ooh, come talk to us about your book and what you're teaching in the book." And there's just something about, this idea of being an author that impresses people. So it's
Yes,
very cool.
yes, it is. Look at every religion, every major religion, every major leadership. Religion survived because of leadership. The leadership book plays a big role in establishing their position in the world beyond time.
Mm,
Every religion that survived today, at least the strong ones, the big ones that I can think of, um, are all having a centralized idea on a book, and you have to trust the book, right? That's the centralized theory. So this is something I wrote about in 48 hour book method as well, that you will hear about holy books,
mm,
sacred books, but you will never hear about holy tweet, holy blog, right? Holy video, all those kind of things. So there's a sweet spot that books have, and there's a huge psychology behind it. Why books? I mean, out of every single product on earth, book is the only product that can last centuries, and civilization that can pass on to the next civilization. So for example, Mesopotamia, when they were clay, they did not have the technology of paper, so they started creating documents on clay tablets. We still have them. That the civilization doesn't exist anymore. So there's this psychology, and again, we humans through evolution are designed to pass on we exist to pass on our information. That's
mm,
it.
yeah,
Survival in nature only means, it doesn't mean that you will have less pain. It doesn't mean that you will live longer than the other person. It only means that your specific information will be passed on for
yeah,
longer. That's
yeah,
what survival in nature means,
yeah,
right? And that information is in the form of things that we remember in our conscious sense, that things that we can pass in the shape of stories, or information like DNA information, genes information, our anatomy information passed on in the form of DNA and biological phenomenon, right? So in the living world, in the conscious world, there have been only three different kind of publishings that lasted, that has the potential to last generations. And the first form of publishing was for which the language was invented. The language, our language, the one that we speak, or all the languages that we speak, they are invented with one and one purpose only. And that purpose was to tell stories, to
mm,
pass on information, to gossip, because that's how human connect with each other. That's how human remember each other. That's how we don't repeat the same mistakes again and again. That's very core to human being. We tell stories, we exist to tell stories. As long as we speak, we tell stories, we are part of stories, right? So those stories were publishing, let's call it 1.0. Then came the architecture. So there was this idea of pyramids and like different archaeological things that we find, and they were designed with mathematical precision and some formulas and astronomy and blah blah blah, right? So those were, in the ancient times, were ways to pass on the same information without the use of paper or any other technology that they had access to pass on that. The third thing after that is books. So now books, by the way, came before printing. The printing was invented, actually it was funded by King, if I'm not wrong, King James. It's in my presentation, by the way, the link that we will share. uh, would people uh, um, will lead people to that presentation where I will share these exact details. um, so it was funded to print Bible.
mm,
The publishing that we know, the printing press that we know of, the paper printing, that wouldn't have existed if the Bible, if this project was not funded to print Bible. Before that, Bible was written by hand. People,
mm,
priests and students remember it, and they write it down and they copy from one book to another. So they were writing it manually. So the printing was invented to replace those humans, to get rid of their jobs. Basically, this is how technology works. It creates new jobs, but it gets rid of old jobs or inefficient jobs. So by that time, and this is where the problem in today's world, when it comes to printing, when it comes to difficulty in authoring books, arise. By the time Bible was printed, Bible was split tested. Hundreds of stories were told to people. There were some stories, and the same with other religious books like Quran, Torah as well. So it's a Bible is just because it's the most recognizable, and stories are pretty much the same. So the idea was, people tell these stories to each other. Some of these resonate with their audience. Priest would say a story in a church. He will get applause, he will not get applause, or maybe get some reaction, people crying, whatever. Stories that get no reaction does not make it to next version, like, or next generation, right? So the stories which were left by the end are the ones which were most effective, most intriguing, and they're the ones that resonate most with people, right? So they were split tested. They were very well market tested. So the book was already done, market tested
mm,
before it was published. Now, this
mm,
is where all problems start today. And since then till now, this is waterfall. This is clearly a waterfall model. Waterfall model is like how infrastructure and buildings are made, right? You build the whole building and then hope that it will be useful, or build the whole thing. So other business models develop, like big book authoring and stuff, and then what happened is people go sit in isolation, write the book, come up with ideas, generate the ideas, create the product. Book is nothing more than a product. So I will also switch the title product. So we as humans are creating products. If we are selling anything, we create products, right? So book is a product. um, and we create these products in isolation, and then some of them stick. In fact, all traditional publishing houses, their business model lives on this, that they will have contract with many authors. Those authors will create content, which is they will write the book. Some of those will stick. 90% or more of those books will not do good, right? But the ones that did good, they are the ones who will make profit. for the publishing house, right? And the publishing house will put more resources, more marketing in promoting those books, right? The ones that are winner. The ones that are not winner, go home. Most books don't sell more than 250 copies, and 250 is a magic number because most of the traditional publishers, they publish the first 250 versions, and if they finish those and they split test with different shops, if they don't sell those, they don't publish further,
Mm.
and hence this magic number, right? So this is where all authors get stuck, that they create the book, the whole book, they have to produce the whole content, then publish it, then it will get in the hands of their audience.
Yeah.
This is not how Bible was created. This was not how Quran was created. This was not how Torah was created. This is not how the most successful, the books that lasted generation were created.
Mm.
They were created one story at a time. They were created one chapter at a time. And that's what 48-hour book method is all about. So
Mm.
this is basically decide. I'll give you a very brief overview. Decide what you want to help people with, what change you want to bring in. Okay, now you go and talk to people. What is the problem holding you from bringing about that change in your life?
Yeah.
See a pattern, what you see. This is classic product management philosophy. So this is another like the thing that I learned working with Vasco in agile and lean product development space is what bring in. So this is how softwares are made.
Mm.
For example, Mac OS.
Yeah.
Update 1, update 2, update 3, iOS 14, 14.1, 14. Right. So they're releasing their updates one chapter at a time, one feature at a time, one app at a time, 1 year at a time. Right. This
Mm.
is how softwares are made today.
Yeah.
That's how books should be written as well. So you involve customer, talk to the customer, and as you said, you're now using your book idea to also have a podcast, right?
Yeah.
You can create all of those before the book is published. Now use your podcast, use your interaction with people, and there could be a systematic way. 48-hour book method is more systematic way of doing it, uh, to collect feedback, document that feedback, and then use that feedback to create, the transformational journey.
Mm.
Keep everything that your audience or your potential customer or your actual customer in the process. Some of them will become your clients. You provide the service, whatever you provide, document it and put it in your book, right? So your book basically writes itself. You
Mm.
don't have to rush and release the book because, see, book is just a vehicle to go from here and to there. The
Yeah.
there is the transformation that you
Mm.
want to give. It doesn't need to be given with a book only. The book is just a foot in the door. It initiates the conversation, initiates the intention, and then you get involved with your customers early on, collect rapid feedback, and then share your stories, see what sticks, see what doesn't stick, take their feedback,
Yeah.
and then improve upon and release one chapter at a time.
Mm.
We spent 4 years writing this book. We were not in a rush. We are publishers. We publish books, but we were not in a rush ourselves for two reasons. One, it also gives an example that um, it's a live example that you don't have to have authored a book, like have published a book to be an author, right? You just need proof enough that you're actually having a project. Also, having this the aspect of building community
Mm.
make sure that you don't deviate away from the task. Like one of the problems that a lot of authors that work in isolation fall into is they'll start a book project a couple of years down the line, their business direction change.
Yeah.
Now that book project is no more relevant to what they're doing and they have a new book project. Like I have come across people who have like 4 or 5 book projects going and then like dumped in the middle.
Mm.
And the end is nowhere in sight, right?
Yeah.
If you build community, you start talking to your audience right from the beginning. The benefit that you're hoping to get at the end of authoring a book, if you can get that right from day one,
Mm.
and hence actually less than 48 hours of your work, the better. You want to build book funnels? Okay, build book funnels with this. 48-hour book method has a book funnel built in. Your book itself is a funnel. Your community is a funnel. Every product that you create becomes a funnel, right? And everything revolves around that central idea. And if people keep telling you that they are not ignited, they are not motivated by that central idea, you have an opportunity to modify the title of the book, modify the mission of your movement that you're building, right? The changes that you're making.
Yeah.
Because a change is only as good as the person receiving it is perceiving it, right?
Mm.
So yeah, that was a long monologue.
No, but it was very cool. And I really love this central insight that you shared about how the best known books, the ones that have been the most impactful, like literally over the centuries, they were not written in isolation. They were not written like in just a few days. They like literally took years, and they were all market tested before they got put in this compiled, I should say, in like all the content got market tested before it got compiled in the book form. That is like really, really awesome and amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for people to wait to start their mission or lead their mission.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And
I
they
know.
could be as leaderless. Like I don't consider myself to be a leader who lead from the front. I probably lead from behind. And people like me struggle a lot when we have to go and stand in front and then like, raise the flag and shout out aloud,
Yeah.
because I have my moments of privacy. I want to be private. I'm a private person most of the time. So I want to have my own corner, right? This method allows you to do that. Take
Yeah.
your time, one trickle at a time. People are happy as long as you're helping them because they sign up to read your book. And this is another thing, the funnel, when we talk about funnel,
Yeah.
you invite them to sign up to read your book. They sign up to read your book in hope of a transformation. You
Mm,
don't have to wait to finish writing your book to
yeah.
transform their lives. You
Yeah.
can transform it through other content, through your videos, whatever feedback you're getting, you talk to them.
Yeah.
I don't know why people are so scared of talk to your people. They're your people. You're your tribe, you know, talk to
Yeah.
them. It could be a sales conversation or it
Mm,
could be a non-sales conversation, depending on how the relationship is going. If you don't have anything to sell, have a research conversation. People love talking to people,
yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
talking to another human being, how difficult can that be, right? Um, and if it's a sales conversation, when people come, you're probably an expert who sells service. So the way people can buy your service is they come on a call, a discovery call or a consultation call. Guess what they are? They are your exploration. They are your surveys. They are
Yeah.
the survey interviews of your customer.
Mm,
You just didn't think about it that way. Whatever you talk in that interview, in that discussion,
yeah.
could has a potential to go to your book as a chapter or a problem that you can solve in that chapter or something that you haven't considered, because this person clearly is spending time with you. Most probably he's your potential customer, potential audience. Now in sales, of course, I understand that we filter out people by money and things. All those are nuances, right? Regardless of those, every
Yeah.
conversation is a potential to discover what are the objections they have in
Yes.
getting their transformation. It doesn't necessarily need to be an objection related to you. It doesn't mean that like, hey, you're totally new. How do I know that I will invest in you and you'll run away? Right. That's what newbies are afraid of.
Yeah.
It could totally be like, hey, I have invested in products or services like this or coaching like this, but I disappeared in the middle of things and I was just so scared to come out of my comfort zone. I know that I will do it again. I'm
Mm,
not saying this, but I know this is true, and that's why I will not pay money to you to sign up to your program, no matter how good you are.
yeah.
You see? So these are all objections. These are the things that come up in either casual conversations, in one-on-one conversations and stuff.
Mm,
And then you structure the chapters, the stories that you pick to tell in your book. And not only that, in your marketing content, when
Yeah.
people sign up to read your book, what
Yeah.
do? Email marketing.
Mm.
You don't need any other marketing at all. Email marketing, because this is the single most reliable method to communicate with people, regardless of Apple trying to reduce the open rates. They're only reducing open rates. Emails are still getting in the inbox. Companies are trying to put your mail to junk box, but your mails are still reaching their inboxes, right?
Mm.
Try Facebook. Until unless Facebook algorithms are convinced your content will not be shown to your audience, no matter what you do, no matter how much money you pay to Facebook.
Yeah.
You see? So if you have to cut down all marketing to one channel, it could be just you sending your chapters as you write them in your email. That's your email marketing. As simple as that, right? So centralize everything, come down to build your community, build your product with this community, build your products, you sell them something, then go and build it. If nobody buy it in early stages, probably no one will buy once you build it.
Right.
At the
Yeah.
back of your book, a book that you haven't even written yet. Like 48-hour book method is
Yeah.
a publishing, a very unique, one of a kind publishing support service
Yeah.
at the back of a book which is not published yet, traditionally published or published in the books yet. I mean, it is published in our own self-publishing in my platform, in my own website, and Vasco's website. We are splitting audience based on agile community there and non-agile community in my website. That's it. You can do whatever you like with this. I don't have to write any other book for a long time, regardless of all ideas I have. So
Yeah.
that's that's how it goes.
Cool. That is very cool. I'm really inspired actually. It makes me think about um, myself actually, but also a lot of other coaches and trainers and healers that I know and change makers that I know who are constantly putting out so much content in terms of videos or blog posts. And we can take a look and see which of our videos and our blog posts, etc., have gotten the most engagement, have um, received most positive feedback, and we can begin to just take the things that we have already done and put them together in this kind of a book format.
Or the other way around.
Mm,
I advocate the other way around, where
mm,
forget about all those content creation. I mean, of course, uh, not everyone will follow it, but
yeah.
actually I am following this advice. Forget
Mm,
about all kind of content creation.
yeah.
Think about only the transformation of your customer
Right.
that you're creating with your book. The
Right.
customer, when you talk, it's a systematic way of collecting this kind of information. You read
Yeah.
the book, sign up for free. Before it's out, I'm accepting beta readers, and Samia will give the link. Sign up, you will read and find out that there's a systematic way. In fact, there's a funnel automatic that works automatically to collect this kind of information. Once you have the pain points, the desires, the gains that your customers are looking for in their own words, that you will not be able to come up with on your own, because you will always, believe it or not, you have your biases, you have your filters that filter out your worldview, that filter out your words. And it
Yes.
only resonates and attract people who are just like you,
Mm,
which are not always the best buyers of you,
mm,
right? Opposite, sometimes different, like different things attract uh, each other as well. So once you have that, then instead of using that material as your, you know, blog posts, videos, I mean, you can use it, but the primary motive should be to please the people who have already signed up, the people who have joined
right.
your community.
Yes.
So you put a laser focus on your community, create things for them, not for the world, not for search engine optimization, not for keywords, not to please YouTube algorithms, not to please Facebook algorithm, but to please
Yeah.
those people who you already have
Yeah.
signed up. They could be 5 people, they could be 10 people, they could be
Yeah.
300 people,
Yeah.
right? But they're people.
Yeah.
They're not algorithms. They're people and they're interacting with you.
Mm.
So you create to please them. The way I see it, if I will go about creating a podcast now, I will create a podcast exclusive for my email list. That's it.
Mm.
It's not a public podcast. I don't care because it's a hell lot of a work of pleasing just the algorithms to get, you know, I'm an expert. I'm not a content creator. I'm not an influencer. Influencer is not my business model, right? And hopefully people who are listening to this audio, they don't have their business model as like an influencer, become famous, and then maybe bring other advertisers to advertise
Yeah.
onto your audience, right? That's a completely different business model. Our business model is we bring about change. We bring about transformation. So that's all we care about. Content is only for those people. Remember I said you don't have to wait to finish writing the book to bring about the transformation. You
Yeah.
can actually create that content, send it across through email and through private channel. Maybe you have a membership site. Maybe release those podcast videos in your membership site. Private. People have to sign up to watch them
Yes.
because everyone else is creating everything else for free everywhere else, right? But yours is super focused, super narrow, super sharp for certain kind of people. Now, how do you get new audience, right?
Yeah.
That's another question. Like, oh yeah, but if we put all our efforts, all our energy in just like a narrow set of people who are coming inside, one, of course, they'll become your super fan, which is rare. In today's world, everyone talks about it, but I have not seen many people have actual super fans.
Yeah.
Very few people have. This way you create those super fans.
Yeah.
They go and promote you. They advocate for you. They fight for you if somebody discredit you.
Yeah.
Also, the single best organic strategy to gain an audience is what you and I are doing here today. Collaboration, alliances, not paid ads, not organic posting, no other kind of, unless your business model is influencer, then it's a complete different business model. Your team would be different. Your work would be different. Your pricing model would be different. But you are an expert, a change maker, transformation maker, service provider. In your business model, transformation is all you care about. You go collaborate with other people, help each other out. This is the fastest way to gain organic traffic. Now, let me bring an example. Remember Simon Sinek? Start with Why. He authored a book called Start with Why. He has some viral YouTube videos. For the last 10 years, there have been viral YouTube videos so what happened is he created some videos and he go on conferences to speak and he get interviewed by other, like, influencers, less because he's not having much public appearance, but whatever. He does those activities that promote his idea. He talks about his idea. Right now, what I'm doing, I'm talking about 48-hour book method. I'm talking about idea. If this idea even intrigue you, then there's only one thing for you to do. Go and sign up to read the book. Read the book. Check it out. Check out the book, what it is. Like, how is it different from any other book out there, right? I'm not saying that, hey, this is a different book than I'm just throwing the idea here. Hey, if this idea, whatever I've talked about so far, intrigue you any much, go and check out the book. You may like it. Maybe you may want transformation earlier than the whole book is released. In that case, there are many ways through my free content that I send exclusive to the audience. Or you may just reach out like, hey, I don't have time. Help me with
Yeah.
your service.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you need publishing. Maybe you need publishing support. Maybe you need some other product development. Maybe you need some other kind of scaling help and promotions, right? I
Mm.
can help, right? So, but you're my tribe member. Imagine all the people who are coming to me are my tribe member. They already know me. They already consume my content without me making efforts. I make content every now and then. No everyday content. No every week content. I make content once in a month when I feel inspired. Put in automated automation and then it's now set, right? This is same I advocate for you. Like, you live a life.
Yeah.
Don't become a workflow of algorithms. And this is an amazing way to to live a life, enjoy what you do, and build the whole marketing channel, like everything that you ever need to get to $1 million or more is just this, what I told you. That's
Yeah.
the only strategy you would need. Go out on other people's platform, collaborate with them, allies with them, make friends, and share your ideas. People will like your ideas. And coming about Simon Sinek again. So Simon Sinek ideas sell his book.
Yeah.
In our case, in early stages, I don't have book to sell, so get it for free, right? Then the book promote his consulting. In his case, his consulting starts from $100,000 to a couple of $1 million. So some people who read his book are qualified and are also motivated and have the capabilities and motivation to hire him and take his services. And that's
Mm.
it. All the marketing he has ever to do, you will not see him running Facebook ads. You will not see him posting Facebook posts or blog posts or all those things that everyone teaches us to do. You won't see him doing it. What you will see him doing is like every now and then he will write a post for Forbes or guest posting. That's what it's called. It's a written version of what you and I are doing right now. So either guest posting or go and give interview on Vogue or Entrepreneur or Forbes, some other platforms not
Mm.
owned by him. And that's those interviews, those talks, those sprinkles act as your satellites.
Yeah.
And they send traffic to where? Your book. You don't need a website, by the way. You don't need a service page. Nothing. Your book funnel alone, the book page is your website. You go to edevanrich.com, and especially the link that is in the description, check it out. The front side of my whole site is just like, hey, I'm all about this idea. If you like this idea, sign up and then we'll have fun.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's
Cool.
that's all you need. You don't need a big mess, you know, to have a
Aw-
good life.
Awesome. I love it. I love it because what you're talking about can help so many of us like really simplify our lives, our business models, and just streamline things
Yeah.
and focus on doing what we really love. And that's awesome. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing, Ed. Are there any other last words of wisdom that you would love to share with us?
Um, well, I don't know if I call myself wise. I just love ideas. I'm just an idea person. And so I think I would like to invite people to sign up to read the book, check it out. And if you're listening to me till now, chances are that you like the idea. Um, you would like to check it out. So I have written a couple of chapters that I send you immediately when you sign up, and the remaining chapters as I'm writing. And when you sign up, you will also see how the whole funnel works, and how this whole system in itself is self-sustainable, self-contained system in itself. And you will also read about it. So you see me walking the talk. It's one of the simplest and most effective systems that I have developed so far. And I hope it will help you in observing what I'm doing and in reading what I've written.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you so much again, Ed. And I'm sorry I have to wrap up for right now because I'm having so much fun learning from you. And so I will definitely be looking more into what you've been sharing with us and learning more from you. And we'll be adding the links that you mentioned in the show notes. So all of our dear listeners, please go ahead, click on the link, connect with Ed, learn from him, and yeah, help yourself if this in this way, if this is something that's intriguing for you. So with that, I will just say that, until we connect next time, I wish you lots and lots of peace and joy.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for tuning into this episode. Hope you're getting value out of it. For your information, this episode has been sponsored by the Happiness 101 program. Are you a change maker, coach, trainer, or healer? Are chains of fear holding you back from making the impact and income you desire? Using a unique combination of positive psychology and the spiritual wisdom of our most effective change makers, the Happiness 101 program helps you break through your limiting beliefs and manifest the abundance and success you desire with fun and ease. Interested? Book a free Happiness 101 exploration call with me, your happiness expert, Samia Bano. Just use my online calendar link in the show notes.